Once again, we've seen guys in this golden generation of Belgium that they can't get it done. They can't get across the finish line.
Sometimes I think people that De Bruyne can't do much more.
No.
Do you know what I mean? There's, the ball they put in for Lukaku there, the great strike that Donnarumma saved in the first half, and other things that he's done in the game and the tournament. I mean, he came on in that Denmark game when they were getting a bit of a pasting, and he completely changed
I think it's defensive.
the narrative. So it's about the supporting cast as well.
Yeah.
He can't. I know Gab said a fully fit Hazard, but he's not been fully fit at Real Madrid for how long?
Yeah.
He's not fully fit, and I think Vertonghen or Vermeulen weren't the best. You know, Meunier as well on the right side. Defensively, I saw stuff that they didn't see before with Belgium. They were fragile at the back, and they conceded the first goal that way, with Vertonghen trying to take on players in his proper 16-yard box. I think if you are an experienced team, it's like when we make analysis about France. When you don't respect football, and there are some strict rules about football. When you are in your 16-yard box, you clear up the place, and then you build in another area. That wasn't the case, and they've been punished.
Dan, Italy came into the tournament with almost to a man that everybody had great seasons. True. Almost, at their clubs. If you think about Immobile, and then you think about Insigne, Jorginho at Chelsea at the end, came on strong. Berardi, Barella, Chiesa. And then you look at Belgium, key players, De Bruyne most of the season he was okay. Yeah. The face knock, that obviously threw him a bit. Hazard never fit.
Yeah.
Witsel came into it with no game time from a rupture. Thomas Meunier had a horrible season for Dortmund and only played because Castagna got that facial knock in the first game, and so he had to play. And so they had 4 or 5 key players that came into this tournament not up to speed. Italy came in with almost everybody fully up to speed, and we saw that today.
Lukaku, though, star of Serie A, of course, a key part of Inter Milan winning. How critical should we be of his finishing in the second half?
I think he will be upset. He probably should have scored the one that De Bruyne put on a plate for him. He just didn't get any contact at all. It was a really scruffy finish. That should have been in the back of the net.
Does he just see it late?
Well, he shouldn't see it late. He should know where it's coming across. He gets behind Spinazzola and he just doesn't get any contact on it. Well, he gets a contact on it, but you see it's quite scruffy. He doesn't go through Spinazzola's legs, comes right across the front, and then he can't convert that one.
That's his wrong foot, the first touch. Yeah. And after he completely misses the ball.
And then this one here.
Yeah. I mean, that's a more difficult. Well, I say more difficult. He either doesn't quite see the flight of it or just can't propel himself up. It was slightly behind him. But look, he scores a lot of goals, but for those that are not huge fans of him, and Stevie Nicol, as we know, he's probably watching, but he's not. That's fuel to the fire for people that say, yeah, but on the real big occasion, that was the one or two opportunities, and that's the difference. I think he'll score goals wherever he'll go, but there are still some out there that say, well, that's fine, bagging X amount in Serie A or whatever against some of the weaker teams or whatever way you want to see it, but then a Van Basten or a Shearer or a big time, Thierry Henry or a Trezeguet back of the net.
Right.
And that's the criticism I think that some will have.
It's not surprising to see Romelu Lukaku making those kind of misses where we saw that throughout his career. We saw that they're capable of doing crazy stuff, fantastic stuff, and missing the simplest thing. And that's who he is, showing us some clumsiness. It's why maybe we don't consider him as a top player, like a Ronaldo, like you mentioned, Van Basten and some others. He's a great striker, but he's capable of clumsiness, and that's part of his game.
Gab, how big a disappointment is this from a Belgian perspective?
You know what? I think it is a disappointment because once France went out, it felt like the momentum was there on that side. I think people are going to ask some questions about Roberto and some of the choices that he made. I think there were warning signs in the Portugal game when it felt like the game should have been put away. They had the lead, and then at the end it felt like anything could happen. I think there's positives. We talk about golden generation ending. I saw this kid, Jeremy Doku, who obviously was at Rennes last year in France, and you know, at times in the second half, he looked to me to be a little bit unplayable. I'll tell you what, he scared the bejesus out of that Italian defense. So, you know, there are players. I don't think it's over for this group. But, you know, this was the one with France getting knocked out, with Germany getting knocked out. I think this is the one that's going to feel like the one that got away.
I think, once again, they come into this tournament, and I might be wrong, but I think, once again, Roberto Martinez, the one criticism you could have is that he neglects the defensive aspect of the game too much.
Right.
I think, because they come into this tournament and they've been pretty much open against every team. They were open against the Danes. They got away with it.
Yeah.
They were open. I'm trying to think back. There's been so many
They
games.
were holding on against Portugal.
Portugal,
The
game that Gab mentioned, Portugal, they were still trying to go for the second goal in the last 20 minutes when they should just have been wrapping the game up.
Yeah.
And they almost paid the penalty in that game. They were open again in this game against Italy at times, and they left themselves exposed and got punished. And when you've got 3 centre-backs of that experience and that age, you've got to work out how you're going to give them a bit more protection.
Sure.
And I just feel, and it's been one criticism of all Martinez's teams, is like, play good football, good going forward, good on the eye, but suspect defensively. And you're not going to win this competition if you don't have a back four that's got a bit of nous, and Italy does.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.